Okay then, in today's video, I'm gonna go over everything that you need to know about the anniversary event, so with that being said, let's get straight on into it. Let's first start off with a small quest for boost tokens and the profile badge, frame and backgrounds. If you go to Route 7, you'll find a brand new raid dungeon with an NPC next to it. If you talk to the NPC, he'll want you to be all 3 of the normal difficulty Gouge raids. After you beat the Fire-type Gouge, you'll get the Lanttorch background made by ZN999, guaranteed. For beating the Electric-type Gouge, you'll get the Zulong background made by Forsaken Moons, guaranteed. And for beating the Ice-type Gouge, you'll get the Tyrex background made by Aaron, guaranteed. And then once you've beaten all 3 of the normal raids, if you talk to the NPC again, you'll get 5 boost tokens and Scorb's Elemental Cores profile badge. And then he'll want you to beat all 3 of the Nightmare difficulty raids. After beating all of these raids, if you talk to the NPC again, you'll get 5 more boost tokens and the Scorb Scrap profile frame. Next up, let's go over the raids themselves. All of the normal Gouge raids will be level 50 with a health multiplier of 1.5 times. They will all have the ability Hover, which will make them immune to Earth-type moves and grounded-based moves. And depending on which raid you fight will determine the typing and the moves. So if you fight the red Gouge, it will be a Metal and Fire type Loomian with the moves Metal Blast, Fire Breath, Raging Flame and Elemental Burst. If you fight the yellow Gouge, it will be a Metal and Electric type Loomian with the moves Metal Blast, Thunder Strike, Stun and Elemental Burst. And finally, if you fight the blue Gouge, it will be a Metal and Ice type Loomian with the moves Metal Blast, Frost Beam, Bitter Cold and Elemental Burst. Now let's go over all of the Nightmare Gouge raids. They will all be level 55 and they will all have the ability Hover. And depending on which raid you fight will determine the typing, moves, and also the health multiplier. The red Gouge will be a Metal and Fire type Loomian with a health multiplier of 3, and the moves will be Shard Storm, Flare Blast, Raging Flame, and Elemental Burst. The yellow Gouge will be a Metal and Electric type Loomian with a health multiplier of 2.5 times, and the moves will be Shard Storm, Thunder Blast, Stun, and Elemental Burst. And finally, the blue Gouge will be a Metal and Ice type Loomian, with a health multiplier of 3.5 times, and the moves will be Shard Storm, Frost Blast, Bitter Cold, and Elemental Burst. And now lastly, let's go over all of the loot that you can get for beating the raids. For the normal difficulty raids, the drops will be the following. For the low grade Scorb items, you'll have an 80% chance to get one of these items, being the Scrap Metal, Spare Cables, or Clear Lens. Then for the low/mid-grade Scorb items, you'll have a 40% chance to get one of these items, being the Scrap Metal, Spare Cable, Clear Lens, or a Strong Magnet. And for this specific drop table, you'll have a null or 10% chance to get one of these items too, being the Clear Lens or Strong Magnet. Then for the Scorb core items, you'll have a 70% chance to get one of these items, being the Flame, Freezer, or Voltaic core, Power core, or Quantum core. Although I should mention that the typing cores will only be dropped by their respective raids, so if you want the Flame core, you'll only be able to get it from the Fire type raid. Then for the core discs, you'll have a 35% chance to get one of these items, being the Flame, Freezer or Voltaic core disc, Power core disc or Quantum core disc. And again, I should mention the typing core disc will only be dropped by their respective raids, so if you want the Flame core disc, you'll only be able to get it from the Fire type raid. Then for the TP gummies, you'll have a 100% chance to get one random gummy. And then you'll have a 60% chance to get a nuller second one random gummy. For the Power Fruits, you'll have a 10% chance to get one Power Fruit. For the saddle, you'll have an 8% chance to get the Valen saddle. And finally, if it's your first time battling each of the normal raids, you'll have a 100% chance to get a profile background, being the Lanttorch, Zulong, and Hyrex. And now, let's move on to the Nightmare difficulty raid drops. For the low grade Scorb items, you'll have an 80% chance to get one of these items, being the Scrap Metal, Spare Cable, and Clear Lens. Then for the low and mid-grade Scorb items, you'll have a 60% chance to get one of these items, being the Clear Lens and Strong Magnet. And you'll have a nuller 30% chance to get a second one of these items, being the Clear Lens and Strong Magnet. Then for the Scorb core items, you'll have a 100% chance to get one of these items, being the Flame, Freezer or Voltaic core, Power core, and Quantum core. And you'll have a nuller 30% chance to get a second one of these items, being the Flame, Freezer or Voltaic core, Power core, and Quantum core. Again, I'll mention it here, the typing cores are locked to their respective raids, so if you want the Flame core, you'll only be able to get it from the Fire type raid. Then for the core discs, you'll have a 100% chance to get one of these items, being the Flame, Freezer or Voltaic core disc, the Power core disc, and the Quantum core disc. And you'll have a nuller 40% chance to get a second one of these items, being the Flame, Freezer, and Voltaic core disc, Power core disc, and the Quantum core disc. And again, just like the core items, the discs are also locked to their respective raids, so if you want the Flame core discs, you'll only be able to get it from the Fire type raid. Then for the TP gummies, you'll have a 100% chance to get one random gummy, you'll have a 70% chance to get a second one random gummy, and you'll also have a 30% chance to get a potential third one random gummy. For the power fruits, you'll have a 30% chance to get one power fruit. For the corrupted shards, you'll have a 35% chance to get one random shard. And finally, for the saddle, you'll have a 15% chance to get the Valen saddle. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about the PvP items, so let's go over all of them. Basically, all of the Scorb drop items have now gained a PvP effect. So, for the scrap metal item, if it is held by a Scorb or a Valens, it will act as a drop of youth, which will increase both melee defense and range defense stats by 40%. For the spare cables item, if it is held by a Scorb, a Valens, or a Gardrone, it will act as a milkshake, which will recover 25% of your max health if your health stat falls below 50%. For the clear lens item, if it is held by a Scorb, a Valens, or a Gardrone, it will make all your moves become sure hit moves, or I also call them 101% accurate moves. This will make all your moves obviously never miss, but they will now also bypass dodge. For the Flame Core item, if held by a Scorb, a Valens, or a Gardrone, it will make them a Metal and Fire type Loomian. For the Freezer Core item, if it is held by a Scorb, a Valens, or a Gardrone, it will make them a Metal and Ice type Loomian. For the Voltaic Core item, if held by a Scorb, a Valens, or a Gardrone, it will make them a Metal and Electric type Loomian. For the Power Core item, if held by a Scorb, a Valens, or a Gardrone, it will act as a Power Cuss, which will boost the strength of all your moves by 20%, but it will also make them cost 25% more energy. And lastly is the Quantum Core item. If held by a Scorb, a Valens, or a Gardrone, it will act as an energy orb, which will reduce all of your moves' energy cost by 25%. And with all of that being said, that is everything that you need to know about the Anniversary event.